Everyone, good evening 10th graders. I hope your preparation is going on pretty well, and the final countdown series has put some of our efforts and included it into your efforts as well. Yes, Ahmed Sir, the final countdown started like this March. We, Ahmed Sir and Satish Sir, you have seen how much effort we are putting in all of this and bringing the previous year questions, most expected questions also have brought, all the concepts we have tried to cover, and I'm hoping that all of you have benefited from this and you are still benefiting, and all the best in your preparations. And please stay tuned. Today also we'll be solving a lot of previous year questions. Me along with Ahmed Sir and Satish Sir, all of us will be going live today. So I can see a lot of you have joined and you are commenting in the chat box as well. Ahmed Sir, you want to say a few words?
Yes. So be it any topic of the maths subject, it is something that we will be helping you in every subject. Make sure that you are staying tuned with us, and we will make sure that you will score really very good. So stay tuned. Satish Sir, do you want to say anything?
Yes, I have a small advice to everyone that the exam is right at our doorsteps, but don't be stressed out. This is just one part of our life. Hope the Sisya is there with you, and we will be in touch. We'll be embracing you even after the exam, and I hope our journey will be long, right? So let's not further, we'll start our class.
Well, on to you, Srikesh Sir.
Thank you, Ahmed Sir. Thank you, Satish Sir. So let us start this session. We'll be starting with a pattern. We'll be following as is followed in your board exams. And this pattern is, first you get 1 mark questions, then you get the 2 marks question, then you get the 3 marks, 4 marks case study questions, and the 5 marks questions. All these questions we'll be seeing. As you have already seen, all the teachers who have been a part of final countdown, along with Rishabh Sir, he's at home. So he'll also be coming and joining us if possible tomorrow or day after tomorrow. In the morning sessions also we have on 10th of March. So please stay tuned. In 10th of March you will be getting the expert tips and advice for motivation, last time hacks, all of that also will be provided to you. In that Rishabh Sir will also be joining us. So without further ado, let's start some PYQ solving. 1 mark questions. Let's start, everyone. So this here is the first question. It is from quadratic equation polynomial. If the sum of zeros of this polynomial p of x 2x square minus k root 2 plus 1 is root 2, then what is the value of x? So in order to solve such questions, you need to remember the relation between the roots. And I hope Rishabh Sir's class would have helped you in remembering the 2 relations which are very important for quadratic equation. One was relating the sum of the roots, the other was relating the product of the roots, right? So sum of the roots we'll be using over here. Zeros and roots are the same thing. So sum of the zeros, let's say if alpha and beta are the 2 roots, then alpha plus beta is given by minus b by a. Yes. And what is b? B here is minus k times root 2. Yes, ax square plus bx plus c. This is the standard form of quadratic equation. When we compare it, we get value of b to be minus k root 2. So minus of minus k root 2, do not forget this minus as well. Clear? Upon a here is 2. So this is the sum of the 2 zeros. Alpha plus beta, the sum of the 2 zeros is coming out to be k root 2 upon 2. This is clear, but this information is already given to us in the question. This sum of the 2 roots or 2 zeros of this polynomial is root 2. This is given to be root 2. Therefore, k root 2 times upon 2 is equal to root 2. This, when you solve, you will get the value of k to be 2. This root 2 and root 2 will get cancelled on both the sides, and the answer will come out to be 2, which is option B. I hope this is clear. Everyone, is this clear? Yes. Rishabh has joined, Pooja has joined, Ramki has joined, MS also has joined. A very good evening, everyone. A lot of students are still joining. So let us move ahead. So all of these questions are very important for you all, and a lot of these questions which we are taking, right, there's a high chance and high probability that maybe one of these questions might come on 10th of March in your exam. So please pay attention, share with your friends also, do benefit to your friends also. You are passing, you are scoring good marks, you want the same for your friends as well, right? Or is it the other way around? It should be always hoping good for others, right? So if the probability of a player winning a game is 0.79, then the probability of his losing the game is Very simple question related to probability for 1 mark. The concept is pretty clear. The probability of two events which are complementary of each other, the sum of them, their probabilities is equal to 1. So here the two events are complementary to each other. If some player is winning the game, the complementary or opposite of it is he can lose the game, correct? So probability of winning the game, P of winning, is given to be 0.79, and we know that two complementary events, if we add the probabilities, it will come out to be 1. So P of winning and P of losing is equal to 1. So probability of win we already know 0.79, probability of lose or loss will be 1 minus 0.79, which will come out to be what? Type in the chat box everyone. This is something which is simple subtraction. Only thing is decimals are present over here. 0.21. Clear beta? 0.21. Now there are two options which are having 0.21. One is option C, one is option D. Which option should I choose? Is C option 0.21 correct? It is 0.21%. When you solve this, actually it is 0.0021 beta. This is wrong. Option C is wrong. Option D is the correct answer. I hope this is clear to everyone. Clear? Yes? Very good. Let's move to the next question. The next question is this. If two positive integers p and q can be expressed as p equal to 18a square b to the power 4 and q is expressed as 20a cube b squared, where a and b are prime numbers, it is mentioned, then LCM of p comma q is. Now here very important thing, something which you would have learnt in grade 4 or 5, which you forget on the way. You learn different techniques to find out LCM and you forget the basics along that way. So here the basics will help you. Let me tell you how. So the prime factorization for p I will write over here. P is equal to 18a square b to the power 4, because if you use the ladder method or the division method, long division method, you will not be able to solve this because there are variables as well, correct? If you use the ladder method or the long division method, write the numbers like this, wrong way, you will not get the answer. You have to prime factorize it. How to prime factorize? P will come out to be 2 times 9 or 2 times 3 times 3. 2 times 3 times 3 multiplied by a square times b to the power 4. This is the prime factorization given in the question. A and b are also prime numbers. So this will come out to be 2 times 3 square times a square times b to the power 4. Same way, q also we can prime factorize and write it in the same exponent form. If you do that, you will get this. 2 times 2 times 5, 2 square, 4 times 5, 2 square times 5, 20 if you prime factorize, 4 into 5 or 2 square times 5. So I'll write it directly, 2 square times 5 multiplied by a cube multiplied by b square. Everyone with me till here? Now what is the next step? What is the way to find out LCM? For HCF, what you do, you find out the common factors. For LCM, you have to circle out all those prime numbers where the prime number's power is the highest. Highest prime number powers you will have to circle out. So 2, if you see, 2, the highest power of 2, where is it? Here the power of 2 is only 1. Here the power of 2 is 2 square, or power of 2 is 2. So I'll circle 2 square. This will become a part of my LCM. Then again, next prime number is 3 square. 3 square is not present over here. So only power of 3 square is 3 square, 2 in P. So I'll circle out 3 square. 5, the highest power is 1. So I'll circle out 5. A, what is the highest power? Here it is a square, here it is a cube. So I should circle a square or a cube? A cube I should circle. Same way, B, the highest power is in P. So I'll circle B to the power 4. All these numbers which I have circled, all these exponential numbers which I have circled, I will multiply to obtain my LCM. This is the way to find out LCM using prime factorization, which you have learned, and this is something which is helping over here to solve this question. Understood? So the LCM of P and Q will be equal to 2 square multiplied by 3 square multiplied by 5 multiplied by a cube multiplied by b to the power 4. When you solve this, 4 into 9, 36, 36 into 5, 180, a cube b to the power 4. This is the correct answer, which is option D. Clear everyone? I hope this is clear. Rishabh, Ramki, everyone, is this clear? Understood, Pooja? Let's move to the next question then. AD is a median in triangle ABC. Now this is a question which combines the topic of triangles as well as coordinate geometry. So you need to know the properties of triangle, you need to know the formula which are used in coordinate geometry. If you know both of these, then this question is very easy. Let me draw. In such questions, we need to draw a representative diagram. I'm not saying that that diagram will be accurate representation, the correct representation, but that diagram will help us to solve this question. So let's draw a diagram, sample diagram. Triangle ABC. This is not the actual representation, by the way. The triangle actually will look something different because of the coordinate positions. We will write ABC for our satisfaction, or for ease of solution, ease of solving, we'll write it like this, because this is the general way we form triangles. This is 5 comma minus 6. Let me again tell you, these are not the actual positions of the coordinates, but this representation helps us to solve this very fast. 6 comma 4, C 0 comma 0. Clear? Now AD is the median. So where should D lie? AD is the median means this D will lie on the midpoint of BC. This D will lie on the midpoint of BC. This will be the midpoint of BC. We need to find out the length of AD. In order to find out the length of AD, we know the coordinates of A, which is 5 comma minus 6. We do not know the coordinates of D. So how to find out the coordinates of D? We know midpoint theorem. D is the midpoint of BC. So what will be the coordinates of D? The coordinates of D will be the average of the coordinates of B and C, because D is the midpoint of the line segment joining B and C. So let's find out the midpoint of D, midpoint of BC, which is D. D's coordinates will be equal to 6 plus 0 by 2, comma 4 plus 0 by 2, which will turn out to be how much? 6 by 2, 3, 4 by 2, 2, 3 comma 2. So D's coordinates will come out to be 3 comma 2. Let me write over. This is 3 comma 2. So this is the distance which we need to find out, AD between 5 comma minus 6 and 3 comma 2. Now to find this out, we have something which is known as distance formula. Let's quickly apply that distance formula. Let me apply over here in this slide. A 5 comma minus 6 and D 3 comma 2. What is the distance? Distance will be given by this distance formula, which is square of the horizontal distance x2 minus x1 between the 2 points plus square of the vertical distance y2 minus y1 the whole square. Add these two squares and then take a square root. You will get the actual distance between A and D. So A, this is x1 y1. If this is x1 y1, this will be x2 y2. Solve it. X2 minus x1, 3 minus 5 minus 2 the whole square plus 2 minus minus 6, 2 plus 6, 8 the whole square. This will come out to be 4 plus 64 the whole square, which is root of 68. The distance, the length of the median, the length of the median is square root of 68, which is option A. Clear everyone? Everyone with me? Clear? Is this clear, beta? Any questions in this? Anyone any questions in this? No? Chalo, let's move ahead. So different concepts, 1 mark questions. If you know the concepts, very easy to solve. Next question. This is from surface area and volume. The volume of largest right circular cone that can be carved out of a solid cube of h 2 centimeter. Now a lot of students get confused. How can I fit a cone inside a cube? You can do that. I'll show you how. If I take a shape here, let's say a 3D shape like this cube. If I draw that cube, let me use a black color over here. If I draw that cube over here, correct? This is a cube. The edge of 2 centimeter. Inside this, I am fitting a cone. If I fit a cone inside this, how will that cone look like? Something like this. Clear? Something like this. Everyone with me? Everyone with me? Let's quickly understand this. So this distance, every side is equal to 2 centimeter because this is a cube. inside this, the highest or the biggest, largest right circular cone which I can fit, the base will be having the radius equal to or diameter equal to the edge of the cube. The diameter of the base will be equal to the edge of the cube. Diameter will be equal to edge of the cube, which is 2 centimeter. What will be height of this right circular cone? From this bottom to top, the height will be equal to exactly 2 centimeter only, which is again the edge. Clear? Height will be equal to 2 centimeter. So the biggest or the largest cone which can be fit inside a cube will have diameter equal to the edge of the cube, and it will have the height equal to the edge of the cube. To find out the volume of this cube, we will use the formula 1/3 pi r square h. So diameter of this cone will be equal to the edge of cube, which is 2 centimeter. If diameter is 2 centimeter, radius of the cone will become 2/2, which is 1 centimeter. Clear? For cone, we are identifying the volume, finding out the volume. Height will be equal to the edge of the cube, which is 2 centimeter. Let's find out the volume. Volume's formula is 1/3 pi r square h, which is 1/3 pi r is 1 multiplied by 2. 1 square is 1. 2 into 1, 2/3 pi. 2/3 pi cubic units. 2/3 pi. Is any option like 2/3 pi? Option D is the correct answer. 2/3 pi cubic centimeter. Clear, everyone? Clear, beta? So let's move ahead now. Let's move ahead to the next question. This 1 mark question from linear equations in 2 variables. As you know, there are a lot of conclusions about linear equations in 2 variables. You can have at least one solution, a unique solution. You can have no solution, parallel lines. You can have infinite solutions as well. So in this question, this is a question which is a unique question, not related to any one of these 3 conclusions, because none of the 3 conclusions will be visible as soon as you see this figure. You will not be able to conclude that does it have one solution. You will not be able to say clearly. Does it have no solution? You will not be have a correct conclusion. So let's read this. In the given figure, graphs of 2 linear equations are shown. The pair of these linear equations is A, consistent with unique solution, B, consistent with infinitely many solutions, C, inconsistent, or D, inconsistent but can be made consistent by extending the lines. Let's understand, is it consistent with unique solution? I cannot see these 2 lines cutting at one point. No, this option goes away. If you can see these 2 lines are cutting at one point, then I can say that it has a one solution and it is consistent. This is not consistent. This does not have a unique solution. Clear? So A option goes away. B, consistent with infinitely many solutions? No. Can it have infinitely many solutions? I can think that they are not touching each other, but can they have infinitely many solutions? Never they can have infinitely many solutions, because to have infinitely many solutions, the 2 lines should be one. Correct? The 2 lines should pass one over the other. This means infinitely many solutions. So this is not there. Consistent solution, unique means the 2 lines should cut at one point. This is also not there. This is also not there. C, inconsistent. Is it inconsistent? Inconsistent means no solution, parallel lines. Are these 2 lines parallel? This means parallel lines. Are these 2 lines parallel? Type in the chat box. Are these 2 lines parallel? Like this? No, these 2 lines are not parallel. They appear to be intersecting at some point. They can intersect at some point. Only one option we have left, which says it is inconsistent. It looks inconsistent because it is not cutting at any one point. But it can be made consistent by extending it to one point. Let me show you how. If you see, if I extend these 2 lines, they will intersect here. It looks inconsistent but can be made consistent by extending. Clear? So option D is the correct answer, not C. D is the correct answer, not C. It appears to be inconsistent, but it is not inconsistent because the 2 lines are not parallel. Let's move to the next question. Here the common difference of an AP needs to be found out, where the difference between the 15 term and the 11 term is given to be 48. So what is the term formula, nth term formula? Nth term formula for an AP is first term plus the number of that term, the series number of that term minus 1 multiplied by the common difference. Clear? So what will be A15 minus A11? If we use this formula, how will we find out A15? How will we write A15? A plus 15 minus 1, 14D. 15 minus 1, 14D minus A plus 11 minus 1, 10D is equal to 48. Clear till here? Clear? When you open the brackets, A plus 14D minus A minus 10D is equal to 48. A and A will get cancelled. 14 minus 10, 4D. 4D is equal to 48. So D will become 12. 4 12 times 48. Option A is the correct answer, not B, not C, not D. Option A is the correct answer. Very easy question. The only thing is you need to be confident enough to apply this formula, but initially if you see this question, you will be feeling that A is not given, N is not given, how will we be able to solve this question? But if you substitute the values, use the formula, you will see that A will get cancelled out automatically, right? You need to be confident enough. Clear? Let's move ahead. This question is related to triangles property. In this given figure, triangle ABC is shown, as you can see ABC. DE here is parallel to BC. DE and BC are parallel. If these two lines are parallel, then you would have learnt in lower grades 8th and 9th that basic proportionality theorem says that this triangle ADE and ABC will be similar, and this line DE divides this two lines AB and AC in equal proportions. But the second conclusion, AD is congruent or similar to ABC, we will be using that. Okay. If AD is equal to 5 centimeter, DB is equal to 2.5 centimeter, BC is equal to 12 centimeter, then DE, what is the length of DE? This is the question. So from the figure, triangle ADE, if we look in triangle ADE, we can directly also conclude, but let me show you how. In triangle ADE and triangle ABC, if you see this angle D, this angle B will be equal. Angle D is equal to angle B, because these two lines are parallel, corresponding angles. Angle E is equal to angle C, again the same reason. D is parallel to BC, and along the line transversal AC side, angle E and angle C are corresponding angles, therefore they are equal. Again same reason. So by AA axiom, these two triangles are similar. So by AA axiom, similar. Triangle ADE is similar to triangle ABC. Now the triangles which are similar, their ratios are their sides are proportional to each other. Let's use that over here. Let's use that relation over here. AD by AB will be equal to DE by BC. We need to find out DE. AD is given to be 5 centimeter. Let's substitute AD equal to, let me write over here, AD by AB is equal to DE by BC. AD is given to be 5 centimeter. AB is not given, but AD plus DB will be equal to AB. AD plus DB. If you add, you will get 5 plus 2.5. AB will come out to be 7.5 centimeter. Clear? AB is 7.5 centimeter. BC is 12 centimeter. We can easily find out DE. 7.5 centimeter is equal to DE by 12 centimeter. When you solve this, DE will come out to be 5 by 7.5 multiplied by 12. If I solve this, 1.5, 120 by 15 multiplied by 10 in denominator and numerator, this will become 15, this will become 120. 120 comes in the table of 15 8 times. Clear? So DE is equal to 8 centimeter. Which option is that? Option C. Clear, beta? So you should be very confident that these two triangles are similar. If you are not confident, quickly use the similarity axiom and prove it. Clear? Let's move ahead. In this question, sine theta is equal to cos theta, and it is given that 0 degrees less than theta is less than 90 degrees. Then value of secant theta multiplied by sine theta is. There are multiple ways to do this. I'll tell you the fastest way to do this. Sine theta is equal to cos theta. Can I divide by cos theta on both the sides? Can I divide on cos theta on both the sides? Reason: because cos theta will never be equal to 0. Why? Because theta is not equal to 90 degree. Therefore, I can divide by cos theta on both the sides. Cos 90 is 0. Therefore, cos theta will not be 0 because theta is less than 90. So, divide by cos theta on both sides. Divide by cos theta on both sides. Why we can do this? Because cos theta can never be equal to 0, because the range of the angle is clearly mentioned. It is between 0 and 90. It can never be equal to 90 degree. Clear? Now this will become 1 by cos theta is secant of theta multiplied by sine theta. Cos theta by cos theta is 1. That's it. 1 is the answer. Option C. Clear beta? 1 is the answer. There are multiple ways to solve this. You can find out sine theta cos theta, it is equal at the angle 45 degree. Then substitute 45 degrees root 2. You can find out one more way is 45 degree you found out. Put it over here, because sine theta cos theta is equal at 45 degree. Put it over here, sec theta will come out to be root 2, 1 by root 2. Again it will be 1, but this is the fastest way. Clear? Let's move ahead. The maximum number of common tangents that can be drawn to two circles intersecting at two distinct points. Now please be very careful, because when you have two circles, the common tangents, the maximum common tangents which can be drawn is actually 4. But if these two circles are intersecting at two distinct points, which may look like this, something like this. So what is the maximum number of common tangents which you can draw? 1, let me use a different color to show you the tangent, red color. This is one tangent. This is the second tangent. That's it. Two tangents, two distinct points. The question says that the circles are intersecting at two distinct points, 1 and 2. 2 points they are intersecting. If this is the case, only two tangents can be drawn, maximum two common tangents. These are common tangents which touch the two circles at 2 points. Clear? So answer for this is 2. However, if this statement was not there, if two distinct points was not mentioned, then what would have been the case? If two distinct points was not mentioned, if there was one circle like this, one circle like this, then what will happen? One tangent is this. Maximum, this, the answer for this is 4. Let me show you how. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? If the spacing is enough, then this 4 can be drawn. Clear? 1, 2, 3 and this 4. Clear? So 4 maximum tangents can be drawn to any two circles, common tangents. However, if the two circles are intersecting at two distinct points, only two common tangents maximum can be drawn. Clear beta? Now this question is related to the properties of circles. The tangent and the radius make 90 degree. That is what we are going to use here very quickly. In the given figure, PT is the tangent to a circle, center O, angle TPO is 35 degree, measure of angle X. Very quickly I'll do. This is 90 degree. Tangent is perpendicular to radius. Perpendicular to radius. Clear? So this is 90 degree by external angle property. By external angle property. Exterior angle property. In a triangle, X will be equal to 90 plus 35, which is 125 degree. That is option D. Clear? Very fast we got the answer. 90 degree, X equal to 90 plus 35, 1 mark star. Clear? Next question. This is very interesting question, because this you may think that all of them are the correct answers, but no, all of them are not correct answers. Or you may think to believe that more than two options are correct, or more than one option is correct, but that's not the case. Let's understand. A pair of irrational numbers. This question is something in which you are supposed to read carefully. A pair of irrational numbers whose product is rational number. Product should be rational number, but the two numbers should be irrational. So let's first check if the two numbers are irrational or not. These two appear to be irrational, but actually these two numbers are square root of 16 is 4, square root of 4 is 2. So these two cannot satisfy because the two numbers are not irrational. So A option eliminated. Second option, root 5, root 2 are irrational. Yes, these two are irrational. So we can move ahead and multiply these two irrational numbers. Let's multiply root 5 into root 2. We will get root 10. Is root 10 rational? No, this again is irrational, not rational. Correct? This is not rational. So this also goes away because the product should be rational. Product should be rational. So this also goes away. B option also eliminated. C option, let's check. Root 3 is irrational. Root 27 is root 27 irrational. Let's check. Root 27 can be written as 3 into 9, which is nothing but 9 will go out of the square root, will become 3. This is 3 root 3. So yes, these two are irrational. Correct. Let's multiply these two. Root 3 multiplied by 3 root 3. 3 multiplied by root 9, which will give me 3 into 3, which is 9, which is rational also. So this is rational. The product is coming out to be rational. The two numbers themselves are irrational. So it satisfies this statement that the pair of two irrational numbers root 3 and root 27, which can also be written as 3 root 3, the product is coming out to be 9, which is a rational number. Therefore option C is the correct answer. No need to check D also. No need to check because only one option is correct. Clear? Understood? Now these type of questions can also be asked for 1 mark. Assertion and region questions. One question I'll solve and then Ahmed Sir will come for you to solve the 2 marks questions as well. So let's quickly look at this question. In this type of questions, you have 2 statements. One is assertion statement, the next one is reason statement. So you have to analyze both the statements separately. Assertion statement you have to analyze and you have to come to a conclusion whether the assertion statement is true or not. Clear? First thing. Second thing, the reason statement also in the same way you analyze whether it is true or false, you find out. So let's analyze these two and then we will find out whether both of them are related to each other or not. Assertion, the tangents drawn at the end points of a diameter of a circle are parallel. Yes, this is correct. If I have a diameter like this, if I have one tangent over here, one tangent over here, this is true. So the assertion is true. I'll write it here. This is true. Assertion is true. Next statement. Next statement. Reason statement. Diameter of circle is the longest chord. This is true, sir. This we have kept on learning from grade 6, grade 5. This is true always. This is true. Diameter is the longest chord, right? Any chord you have, diameter is the longest chord. Is the reason a correct explanation of assertion? No relation. This is not the correct explanation. The reason is not the correct explanation. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation for the assertion that the endpoints will have the two tangents to be parallel. It is not the correct explanation. The correct explanation for that is the tangent always is perpendicular to radius. That is the correct explanation. This is not the correct explanation. So what will we conclude? This is not the correct explanation. Both are not related. Reason is not correct explanation. So which option? Option A, B, C or D? Option B we will select. Both A and R are true, but R is not correct explanation of the assertion. Is this clear? Everyone, is this clear? One more example. Let me give you one more example. Generally 2 questions are asked. 19th and the 20th question always in your board exams will be from this assertion and reason time. So it is very, very important for you to perfect this. So the assertion statement says if the graph of a polynomial touches x-axis at only one point, then the polynomial cannot be a quadratic polynomial. Let's see, is this true? Is this true? If I draw a graph like this, or let me add a page and show you over here. If I draw a graph Is this not a quadratic polynomial? This can be a quadratic polynomial with roots, correct? This can be a quadratic polynomial. This is a quadratic polynomial with equal roots. Equal roots, yes or no? Clear beta? So this first statement is wrong. First statement is wrong. This first statement is false. This is false, because we can have something like this. If it touches only at one point, it represents equal roots. Clear? This is false. Reason: a polynomial of degree n greater than can have at most n zeros. At most n zeros. Let's check. If I have a quadratic polynomial, degree is 2. If degree is 2, it can have how many zeros? It can have 1 0, it can have 2 zeros, or it can have imaginary zeros. It can have 1 0 also, it can have 2 0. Can it have more than 2 zeros? No. So at most n zeros it will have. This statement is true. The second statement is true. The second statement is true. So I will write over here true. So which option should we select? Assertion A is true, reason R is false, or assertion A is false, reason R is true? The correct answer for this is D. Assertion A is false, but reason R is true. First statement is false, second statement is true. If one is false, no need to check the relation between the two. Clear? So let me give the stage to Ahmed Sir. Ahmed Sir.
Yes.
I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you will enjoy more Ahmed Sir's part.
Thank you so much, Srikesh Sir. Alright, dear students, we'll take a short 1 minute break and then we'll come back to you. Okay? Alright, okay. So here's the time that we are gonna start with question number 2. I would really like to appreciate Srikesh Sir to wonderfully explain all the questions so nicely with the revision of all the concepts that was required to solve the questions. Here we are starting with all the questions of 2 marks, and this is the first question that we're gonna have. Now we have carefully selected the questions which are usually being confused by the students, right? So let me quickly go to that question first. Let's move ahead first. We'll quickly go to that question. Let's move ahead. Okay. Fine, so I guess we are ready over here, right? So 2 mark question, this is the first question that we're gonna solve over here right now, okay? So first question over here, it says that, just a second. Yep, okay, so the first question says, prove that 5 minus 2 root 3 is an irrational number, okay? So let me mark the important points from the question. Okay, we want to prove that 5 minus 2 root 3 is the irrational number. One thing that is given in the question is that root 3 is an irrational number already. Okay, so what we'll do is we will use a method called as method of fallacy, where we'll assume something which is completely opposite to what we want to actually prove. Okay, so what we want to prove actually over here, we want to prove that 5 minus 2 root 3 is an irrational number, but we'll do the opposite thing. We'll do assumption. So we'll say assume 5 minus 2 root 3 is a rational number. Okay, and now by definition we know that for every rational number it can be represented by fraction p by q, which means that we can write this number as 5 minus 2 root 3 is equal to p by q. What we'll do is we'll keep all the numbers from the LHS to the RHS, keeping only the root number at one side, and then we'll see that how we can conclude this question. Okay, let's move ahead. This over here is a positive phi. Moving it to the RHS will make it negative. So therefore what we'll get is phi. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just remove this first. Okay, so we'll just write over here minus 2 root 3 is equal to P by Q minus phi. And now what we'll do is we'll solve this question further. We'll solve this fraction further. If we don't have any number over here, it means that we have 1. So we'll use the method of crisscross multiplication to solve this these two fractions. So we have minus 2 root 3 is equal to P minus phi Q upon Q. Okay, now still if you see, the number which has a root is still associated with one number, which is a constant. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll move it to the RHS. Now here it is getting multiplied, so that side it will be divided. So we'll get root 3 is equal to P minus phi Q upon minus 2Q. So this is the final thing that we are receiving right now. Okay, now here is the part where we can conclude this question. Okay, now if you see, we have one thing which is LHS and the other one is RHS. Let's try to see if both LHS and RHS are of the same type of number or not. In the question, if we see, the R3 root 3 is actually an irrational number which is already given in the question, which means that my question says that LHS is actually what? It is irrational number, right? But if you talk about RHS, we have assumed that it is rational, which means that these two things are wrong. And because if this is wrong, it means that the assumption that we started our question with is actually wrong. And if this is wrong, if this assumption is wrong, if it is not rational number, then what it will be? It will become a irrational number. We'll say therefore by method of fallacy, phi 2 root 3 is actually an irrational number. I hope so this is clear to all of you, right? So this is called the method of fallacy. You will take the wrong assumption, you will prove that your assumption was wrong, and then you will say that this is the correct answer. Alright, I believe this is clear to all of you, right? Great, wonderful. Okay, so moving to the next question now, over here we have showed that the number 5 into 11 into 7 plus 3 into 11 is a composite number. Okay, let me revise you what is the meaning of composite number first. Okay, a composite number is a number which has more than 2 factors. If any number, if it has more than 2 factors, it will become a composite number. So what we'll do is we will try to find out the value of this combination of numbers, and then we'll try to factorize them and try to find out the factors that we get from these numbers, these two terms. Okay, let's try to do that. What we are going to do is, let's remember the name 5, 11, 17 and 3, 11. So we have 5 into 11 into 17, and that will be 5, 11, 17 and 3 and 11. Okay, plus 3 and 11. So to make the things very simple, what we'll do is we'll see that how many terms do we have over here. Okay, we have a total of 2 terms, and terms can be divided by plus or minus sign, right? So we have one term, this is the second term. Okay, there is one number, one digit, okay, one number which is common in both the terms, that is 11. So what we'll do is we'll reserve 11. Okay, we'll reserve 11, and then we'll try to solve the question. So without touching 11, let's try to see that what we can solve. If I don't want to touch 11, what I'll do is I'll multiply 5 and 17, right? 5 and 17, if you multiply these two numbers, you will get 85, right? So 85 multiplied by 11 plus 3 multiplied by 11. Again we have 2 terms over here. Okay, the common term, the common number from these 2 terms is actually 11. So what we can do is we can take out 11 as a common term, and then we can write 85 plus 3. Is it clear, right? So we are taking the common term 11 outside, and then we are writing the rest of the number inside the bracket. Okay, let's move ahead now. 11 into 85 plus 3 will be 88. Now rather than multiplying this number, I wanted to see that what would be the prime factors of the number, isn't it? So rather than multiplying these two numbers, let's prime factorize it even more. 11 is already a prime number. 8 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2, right? 8 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2 multiplied by 11. So 8, 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8. 8 times 11 is 88, right? This number can be written as 11 square multiplied by 2 cube. I hope so this is clear to all of you. Now how can we conclude this answer, right? There is a theorem. The theorem is the theorem of linear arithmetic, right? This theorem says that every number which is not equal to 1, every number which is not equal to 1 can be represented by factors of prime number. And if you see over here, here we have factors of prime number, and this will tell you that it has a prime factor of 11 as well as 2 also, which means that its number of factors is more than 2. And because the number of factor is more than 2, it is very clear that it's not a prime number. And if it is not a prime number, we can conclude that this is composite number. I hope so this is clear to all of you. Drop in the chat section if you have any questions or any doubts. Right? Okay, great. Let's move ahead to the next question. You can drop questions in the chat if you have any questions. Okay, let's move ahead. So next two questions over here with me. This is related to trigonometry. Okay, one of the most easiest and one of the most scoring topic that you can have if you know the concept very well. Okay, so here we are supposed to find out the value of the of the trigonometric equation. Okay, and then the second question is where we are supposed to find out the value of a and b, which is not given actually, right? To make the question easy, what we'll do is we'll quickly revise how to create the trigonometric table, just in case if you don't remember the values of every angle and every ratios, we can still make it in our examination. And as Srikesh Sir has very wonderfully explained how trigonometric table can be created, we'll use the same thing over here just to have a quick revision. Okay, so if by chance you forgot that what is the value of sine 0 or sine 30 or sine 45, sine 60 or sine 90 or any other trigonometric ratio, there is a very simple method to create the table yourself. Okay, look at the trick very quickly. You will quickly write the 4 or 5 digits from, you'll quickly write 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Which number is the greatest number over here? It is 4. So you will divide all the numbers with 4. Okay, and then you will get 0, 1 by 4, this will be 1 by 2, this will be 3 by 4 and this will be 1. You will take square roots of all the number. I know this is technically wrong to write this way, but it's just a method to remember that you are supposed to take the roots or square roots of all the fractions. Okay, so that will give you 0, 1 by 2, 1 by root 2, root 3 by 2 and then 1. What you get over here is actually the first row of your trigonometric table, right? And this is actually the value of sine theta, where the first value comes from sine 0, second is sine 30, third is sine 45, fourth is sine 60 and fifth is sine 90. Now once we get this table, it becomes very easy for us to create the rest of the table, right? So I'll quickly write over here sine, cos, tan, and having only these three ratios is fine because we know that the other three trigonometric ratio are actually reciprocal of these ratios, right? So having these three rows is more than enough. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to say this is 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, 60 degree and then 90 degree. Okay, and we'll write all the values 0, 1 by 2, 1 by root 2, root 3 by 2 and then 1. When we want to find out the row of the cos, then what we'll do is we'll write it in the reverse order. So we'll write 1, then we'll write root 3 by 2, then we'll write 1 by root 2, then we'll write 1 by 2 and then we'll write 0. For tan, you can just remember this, that we will divide sine and cos together. Okay, in very simple term, or in Hindi you will say that अगर हम लोग ने sine and cos का टांग तोड़ दिए तो हम लोग को tan मिल जाएगी, right? So that's how you remember. That's how I used to remember in my school times. Okay, so no number in the denominator, which means 1. No number in the denominator, which means 1. So what value we will get? 0 divided by 1, which will be 0. And then we have 2 will get cancelled, we get 1 by root 2, 1 by root 3. Root 2 will be cancelled, we'll get 1. 2 will be get cancelled, we'll get root 3. And then here we'll get not defined, because it is not defined over here. Now since we have all the 3 trigonometric ratios value for all the given angles, what we are going to do next is we are going to substitute these values and find the value of this first question. So question first, it says 2 sine square 30. So we'll say the first one answer, 2 sine 30. So what is sine 30? Sine 30 is 1 by 2. So I'll write 1 by 2 the whole square. Okay, multiplied by sec 30. Now sec is actually the inverse of cos. Okay, so we'll look at cos 60. So cos 60 is 1 by 2. So sec will be opposite of 1 by 2 or reciprocal of 1 by 2, that will be 2. So multiplied by 2. Alright, I hope so this is clear, right? Then plus tan square 60. So the value of tan 60 is root 3. So we'll simply write root 3 the whole square. Okay, let me see if I have missed anything. This is done, this is done, this is done, and this is exactly how you do it in the examination also. Don't be very overconfident when you're solving the question. Keep on checking each and every step if you're solving the question properly or not. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, then we have 2 multiplied by, what is the square of 1? 1. Square of 2 is 4. Multiplied by 2 plus square and square root gets cancelled. What you will get is 3. Okay, so 2 1s are 2 2s are 2 1s are 2 1s are, right? So 1 into 1 into 1 all multiplied together will get how much? 1. So 1 plus 3 is going to be 4. The final answer is going to be 4. That is the evaluated value of the first trigonometric equation. I hope so this is clear to all of you, right? Okay, now let's move ahead to the next question. Okay, let's try to understand the next question. The next question says 2 sine a plus b is equal to root 3 and cos a minus b is equal to 1. These are the two relations that we have received from the question. Okay, these are the two relations that we got from the question. Okay, now let's try to find out what we are supposed to do. Okay, then find the measure of the angles a and b. We want to find out the measures of angle a and b. Okay, where a can be equal to or greater than 0. Okay, it can be 0, it can be greater than 0 also. Okay, and a plus b together can be 90 or less than 90. Okay, so this is the range which is given of the angles a and b together. Okay, let's try to find out the answer. Okay, let's remember sine a plus b is equal to root 3. We'll just quickly write it. We'll say sine a plus b is equal to root 3, and we have 2 written over here, isn't it? Right, so we have 2 sine a plus b is equal to root 3, and then we have cos a minus b is equal to 1. So we have cos a minus b is equal to 1. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll take the first relation and then try to solve it. Okay, let's try to do it. So sine a plus b is gonna be root 3 by 2, because 2 is multiplying over here, 2 is getting multiplied over here. If it goes to the RHS, it will get divided by root 3, right? Isn't it? Fine. Now what we're gonna do is, because this trigonometric ratio that we have is actually sine, okay, we'll see in the trigonometric table that which angle value will we get root 3 by 2. Okay, so we'll go back to our trigonometric table and we'll look for root 3 by 2. So root 3 by 2 comes over here at angle 60 degree, which means that I can write over here, we'll say but sine 60 degree is equal to root 3 by 2, which means that wherever I have written this, I can replace it with this, isn't it? Right? So this relation will become sine a plus b is equal to sine 60. And whenever you will get a trigonometric equation where you will have the same ratio in both the ends, it means that the number will represent the angle, right? In both the side, these two are representing the same angle, which means that now we have established a relation between a plus b. The value of a plus b is how much? It is 60. How? I can simply say, therefore a plus b is equal to 60. Why? Because these two things are sitting at the same place and they hold the same meaning. Why? Because we have these two as a same trigonometric ratio. Is this clear? This will become my equation number 1. We are still yet to solve the entire question. We'll move to the next expression. So the next expression is cos a minus b is equal to 1. Now here what we'll do is, because we have the trigonometric ratio which is being used over here is cos, we'll check the cos row and try to find out the angle where the value is actually 1. Okay, so let's try to go back and we'll try to find out where cos is equal to 1. Here it is, right? Rest there is no other places where cos is equal to 1. The only place is over here. And what is the angle? Angle is 0. So which means that I can simply say but cos 0 degree is equal to 1. Therefore this expression can be written as cos a minus b is equal to cos 0 degree. Now because over here in both the side the trigonometric ratio is the same, you can relate or you can say that in both the side the numbers are representing the same angle, which means that a minus b is equal to how much? 0. So a minus b is equal to 0. If you take minus b to the RHS, what you will get is a is equal to b. This is a very important piece of information because we can use it inside this equation. Now because we know that a is equal to b, we can replace a with b or b with a, whichever you like, right? And then what you will say is a plus a is equal to 60 degree. I have replaced b with a because I know that both of these two values are equal. Now what you will get is, you will get 2 times a. Where? How? Because a plus a will be 2 times a. 2 times a is equal to 60, which means a is equal to 30 degree. So what would be the value of b? We can use this expression again. Whatever is the value of a will be the value of b, right? And if we found out the value of a to be 30, therefore b will also be equal to 30. Let me quickly change this, right? So that will also be equal to 30. I believe this is clear to all of you, right? Now we'll see if this is matching a condition or not. So because we have given some conditions as well, right? So we'll need to cross verify if the value that we have found out is if that is sitting with the condition that we have or not, right? So what is the value of a plus b? So a is 30, b is 30. If we add these together, we'll get 60. Let's move back and see what was the question. The question was saying that a plus b should be less than or equal to 90. In our case we are getting 60, which means that this condition is satisfied. Okay, next thing is a and b both is greater than or equal to 0. In both the cases we are getting the value as 30 and this is true for a and b also, which means that we found out the value and then we cross verified if it is matching the condition which is given in the question or not, which means that the answer is correct. Alright, do drop into the chat section if you have any doubts or any question. Let's move ahead. Alright, the next thing over here, two numbers are in the ratios 2:3 and their LCM is 180. What is the HCF of these numbers? So this is something that we are supposed to find. One of the most easiest question, and already Srikesh Sir has covered this topic in one mark question. Okay, what we are going to do is, we have the ratio as 2:3, right? Now we don't know the common factor, so let's assume that the common factor to be as x. Okay, so I'll say let the common factor be x. Okay, therefore the two numbers that you will get is actually 2x and 3x. Okay, so whenever you deal with ratios, the very first step that you will do is you will assume a common factor. Okay, that's done over here. So 2x comma 3x. Okay, now let us try to do the prime factorization of these two numbers. Well, it's not a very big number, so it will be very easy. So we have 2x, which can be written as 2 into x, right? And then we have the next thing is 3x, which is equal to 3 into x, right? So in order to take the LCM, as Srikesh Sir has already mentioned, that we'll take each term of the highest order, right? So we have three things over here, 2, 3 and x. Everything over here has the highest order as 1. Therefore what we'll take is, we'll take 2 one time, 3 one time and x one time. What is the value that we'll get? We'll get 6x, right? So LCM is how much? It is 6x. Okay, now if you look at closely at the question is saying that the value of LCM is equal to how much? It is 180. We'll say but LCM is equal to 180, which means that we can equate these two things and we can get x is equal to 180. X will be equal to 180 divided by 6. 1s are 3s are 0. So x will be equal to 30. There you go, that's your answer. That's how simple it is. Okay, I believe this is clear to all of you, right? Drop me a question or any doubts if you have any in the chat section. Okay, we'll be moving on to the next question because we have more questions to cover. All right, so yes, now I will be inviting our sir to move ahead with the next question. Yeah, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ahmed Sir, and I hope you all enjoyed this wonderful session by Ahmed Sir. I really was enjoying that, watching from the other hand of the camera. So let us continue. Let us continue with the 3 marks questions. As Ahmed Sir also taken the 2 marks question, I have taken the 1 mark question already. Let's move ahead with the 3 marks questions. This is the first question over here. In teachers workshop, the number of teachers teaching French, Hindi and English are 48, 80 and 144 respectively. Find the minimum number of rooms required if in each room the same number of teachers are seated and all of them are of the same subject. So this question might seem tricky. You might think that this question is from equations, this question might be from probability, but no students, this question is from HCF, the number system. HCF and LCM knowledge if you have, you can solve this question very easily. Now remember, very important thing I'm going to tell you, how to identify if a question you have to find out LCM or you have to find out HCF. If you remember this next thing which I'm going to tell you, all these questions you will be able to solve within seconds. So listen to me very carefully. If you have to find out some arrangements, if we need to find out some arrangements, we will always find out HCF. So here we are arranging the teachers in some rooms, so we are going to find out HCF. So when do we find out LCM? LCM is found out when certain things repeat after a given period of time or given interval. If the things repeat, then we find out LCM. I'll write it over here. If the things repeat, we find out the LCM. Just a sec. If the things repeat, we find out the LCM. Repeating LCM. If we want to arrange, if we have to arrange something, we need to find out HCF. Here we have to arrange the teachers in the rooms, we will find out the HCF. Let's find out the HCF of these numbers over here. So 48, if I prime factorize 48, it is 2 into 2, 4, 4 into 2, 8, 8 into 2, 16 into 3, 48, which I can also write, or no need to write it in different way because we need to find out the prime factorization, and after that we need to find out the HCF. We will be finding out the common factors. Let's write down the prime factorization of 80 now. So 80, if I prime factorize, when you prime factorize, 80 is 16 into 5, which is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 16, 2 to the 4 to the 8 to the 16 into 5. Then finally 144, 144 is 12 into 12, which is 2 into 2 into 3. So 2 into 2, 4 into 2, 8 into 2, 16, 16 into 3, 48 into 3, 144. Clear? So these are the prime factorizations of 48, 80 and 144. In order to find out the highest common factor, we will circle out all the common factors across the three numbers. So across the three numbers, what is common? This 2 is common, 1 2 is common, this one more 2 is common, one more 2 is common, and one more 2 is common. 4 2s are common. 3 is only common in 48 and 144. It is not present in 80. 5 again only is present in 80. So the HCF for these three numbers will become the product of the common prime factors, which is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 to the power 4, which comes out to be 16. Now 16 is the highest common factor. What does this 16 represent? 16 is the maximum number of teachers which you can put inside one room. In one room, if I am able to fit maximum number of teachers, then automatically the number of rooms which I require will become minimum. Yes or no? If in one room I have maximum number of teachers, all the same teachers, then the number of rooms which I require will automatically become minimum. If I want, I can put all these 144 plus 80 plus 48 in one room itself, but that is not allowed. I want to put same number of teachers. That's why I found out HCF, the number which can equally divide 48, 80 and 144, the biggest number. This is 16. Now 16 teachers can be put inside one room. This 16 is the maximum number of teachers which can be put in one room. What is this 16? Max teachers in one room. In one room or in each room. So how many total teachers we have? If we want to divide, if we divide the total number of teachers by maximum teachers in one room, we will get the minimum number of rooms which are required according to the given condition. Let us see. The number of teachers we have is 48 plus 80 plus 144. Total teachers. Total teachers comes out to be 48 plus 80 plus 144. 48 plus 80 is 128. 128 plus 144. 128 plus 140 will come out to be 268 plus 4, 272. Divide 272 by 16, you will get the minimum number of rooms. Minimum number of rooms required is equal to 272 teachers. I have to divide 16 teachers in every room. Divide by 16. If you divide by 16, 1 times 16, you will be left with 9. Let's divide 2, 4, 2, 8 times. 48 plus 0 plus 8, 8, 8 plus 4, 12, 8 plus 4, 2, 1 carried, 4 plus 2 plus, yeah, correct. Clear? So 4 times, 4 6 times, 24, 4 8 times. Then I will get 4 15 times, 4 1 times, 4 14 times. Clear? So 4 6 times is 64. 16 rooms. In 16 rooms I will be able to fit 64 teachers. One extra room I will require. So 16 plus 1, 16 rooms will be there. 16 rooms and 1 room extra will be required for the remaining 4 teachers. Clear? My bad. 272 by 16. Let's divide. Just a sec. Let me erase this. So whatever the remainder will come, that extra room we will put the remainder teachers in the extra room. So total 17 rooms are required. Clear? 16 plus 1. Okay. One extra room for the remaining teachers. Clear? I hope this is clear. Let's move to the next question then. The next question is this word problem which states 3 years ago Rashmi was thrice as old as Nazma. 10 years later Rashmi will be twice as old as Nazma. How old are Rashmi and Nazma now? So let's take the current years of Rashmi and Nazma to be any variables. You can take x or y, you can take r and n. Let's take x and y. Rashmi's age be x. Let present ages. Present age of Rashmi be X years, of Nazma be Y years. Now according to the question 3 years ago, if we go 3 years back, 3 years ago, what will be their ages? 3 years ago Rashmi's age will be X minus 3, Nazma's age will be Y minus 3. The relation between their ages is given in the question. Rashmi was thrice old as Nazma. X minus 3 is 3 times Y minus 3. This is written. Let's simplify and let's get one equation. Then the second relation will give us the second equation. Both the equations are in two variables, linear equations. Pair of linear equations we have, we can solve them later. So X minus 3 is equal to 3Y minus 9. If I simplify this equation and I take the variables on one side and the constants on the other side, I will get X minus 3Y is equal to minus 9 plus 3, which is minus 6. This I will term as equation number 1. X minus 3Y is equal to minus 6. This is the equation number 1. Next equation we will get from the next information, the next statement which is given over here, that says 10 years later Rashmi will be twice as old as Nazma. After 10 years, if we go 10 years later, 10 years later, what will be Rashmi's age? X plus 10. What will be Nazma's age? Present age of Nazma plus 10. Rashmi's age will be twice the age of Nazma, which will come out to be X plus 10 is equal to 2Y plus 20. So X minus 2Y is equal to 20 minus 10. Equation number 2. So second equation is X minus 2Y is equal to 10. The first equation is X minus 3Y is equal to minus 6. So I'll write X minus 3Y is equal to minus 6 over here. This is equation 1. I'll subtract the two equations. I'll get minus 2 plus 3. I'll get Y. 10 minus minus 6, 16. So Y is 16. Put Y equal to 16 in equation number 2. I'll get X minus 2 into 16, 32 is equal to 10. This will give me X is equal to 42. So X is 42, Y is 16. Therefore, Rashmi's current age is 42 years. And Nazma's current age is 16 years. Clear? 16 and 42, this is the correct answer. Let's move to the next part. The difference between the outer and inner radii of the hollow right circular cylinder of length 14 cm is given to be 1 cm. If the volume of metal used in making the cylinder is 176 centimeter cube, find the outer and inner radii of the cylinder. How to solve this question? Let's understand. So first thing first, this is a hollow cylinder. So the only thing for which we need to find out the volume is this part. If I make this, I have made this. Let me use a different color and let me indicate the inner boundary, inner part. This is the inner part. Clear? Now how much is the volume? This part is hollow, inside is hollow. Only this much is the volume. This much is the volume, correct? Everyone agrees with me? Only this much is the volume, correct? This blue jacket kind of thing is the volume. This blue part, right? So let's find out the volume of that part in terms of the inner and the outer radii. So the inner radius of the red inner cylinder is R1, let's say, is R1. The outer radius from the center till the outer part, outer edge of this black cylinder, outer cylinder, this is the outer cylinder. Clear? This one is the inner cylinder. Between them, the blue part is something which is the metal. For that only we need to find out the volume. For that only the volume is given. This is, let's say, R2. Clear? R2 and R1. So volume of this blue part, this metal part, this is the metal part. So volume of this hollow cylinder, the metal part will be equal to volume of the outer cylinder minus the volume of inner cylinder. Outer cylinder minus inner cylinder. So volume of metal is already given to be 176 centimeter cube. So 176 centimeter cube is equal to pi r2 square h minus pi r1 square h. Now you'll be wondering, sir, what is h? R2, R1 is clearly visible over here. What is h? H is the length of this cylinder. The length of this cylinder, which is given to us in the question as 14 centimeter. This is 14 centimeter. Clear? So 176 is equal to pi h, I can take common, r2 square minus r1 square. This is 176. In place of pi I will put 22 by 7. In place of h I will write 14. Till here I hope everyone is with me. R2 square minus R1 square. Now R2 is not given, R1 is not given. How will we find out R2 square and R1 square? Do not worry. The difference between the inner radii, outer radii is given to be 1 centimeter, which means R2 minus R1 is given to us to be 1 centimeter. So this is given in the question. Let me mark this as equation number 1. Now let's move ahead. Let me add one more slide in the next part and let's continue this. 176 is equal to 22 by 7 multiplied by 14 multiplied by r2 square minus r1 square. So this, all these numbers I can take on the left side. So when I take these numbers on the left side, this will become 176 multiplied by 7 divided by 22 divided by 14 is equal to r2 square minus r1 square. Let me write that r2 minus r1 is given to be 1 centimeter in the question. Equation number 1 from the previous slide. Now this 22 8 times is 176. 22 times 8 is 176. 7 2s are 14. 2 4s are 8. Which means r2 square minus r1 square is equal to 4. R2 square minus r1 square is equal to 4. Now this r2 square minus r1 square, using the algebraic identity a square minus b square, we can split it into a plus b multiplied by a minus b. Let's write it in that way. R2 plus r1 multiplied by r2 minus r1. This is equal to 4. This r2 minus r1 is given over here to be 1. So let's put this, substitute this. R2 plus r1 multiplied by 1 is equal to 4, which means R1 plus R2 or R2 plus R1 is 4, R2 minus R1 is 1. So we have two equations in the two variables. We have two variables, two equations. We can easily solve these two equations to get the answer. Clear, beta? Clear? So let's write these two equations over here and let me eliminate minus R1 and R1. R1 I will eliminate. It is very easy for me to eliminate R1. R2 minus R1 is 1. R2 plus R1 is 4. Let us add these two equations. R2 plus R2, 2R2, 4 plus 1, 5. R1 minus R1, 0, 4 plus 1, 5. R2 comes out to be 5 by 2. Done. R1, if you substitute over here, R1 will come out to be 5 by 2 minus R1 is equal to 1. R1 is 5 by 2 minus 1. 2.5 minus 1, 1.5, which is 3 by 2. So R1 is 3 by 2, R2 is 5 by 2, and in the question we needed to find out the outer and inner radii of the cylinder. Outer radii of the cylinder is 2.5 centimeter, inner radii is 3 by 2, 1.5 centimeter. So our answer will be R2 is equal to outer radii is equal to 5 by 2, which is 2.5 centimeter. Inner radii R1 is equal to 3 by 2 is equal to 1.5 centimeter. This is the final answer. 2.5 centimeter, 1.5 centimeter. Subtract them, you are getting 1 centimeter. Clear, everyone? So such questions can be asked in 3 marks, in which you need to apply your mind. Don't get confused at how to find out the volume of hollow cylinder. The hollow cylinder, find out the volume of the outer cylinder, subtract the volume of inner cylinder, you will easily get the volume of this much part, the metal part, clear? And that is given in the question. And do not worry, R2, R1 is not given. How will you find out? You can easily use the identities and you can easily substitute, make the substitution over here. You will get the two variables. If you want to find out two variables are unknowns, right? Do not worry. If you are able to establish two equations, then two unknowns can easily be solved. If you have one unknown, one equation is enough. Two unknowns, two variables, find out two equations, you will easily be able to solve those two equations and find out the values of the two variables or the two unknowns. Clear? Here R2, R1 were two unknowns, we found out two equations. One was directly given to us, the second from the information which was given to us in the question that the volume is 176. I used that information, I did some changes using the identity and I found out the second equation. Once you have two equations, two variables, easy to solve. Clear? Let's move ahead. Now this we already discussed in the previous statistics class. How many of you remember this? To find out the mean, we have different techniques. So the easiest way to find out is the step deviation method. The first method is the direct method, the second is the assumed mean method, then we come to the step deviation method. Let's look at step deviation method and find this out. So I'll be quickly writing down. To find out the mean, we need to find out the class mark first. Class mark is very important. So let us make the table once again over here. So I'll make the table, I'll write marks obtained. Marks obtained is 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 and finally 40 to 50. Clear? So these are the marks. Then frequency is given, number of students. So before I write the frequency, let me quickly write down the class mark. Okay, let's write down the class mark. Class mark is X. It is given by Xi. So what is Xi? X class mark is the average of the lower limit and the upper limit of every class. So 0 plus 10 by 2, 5. 0 plus 10 by 2, 5. 10 plus 20, 30 by 2, 15. 20 plus 30, 50 by 2, 25. 30 plus 40, 70 by 2, 35. 40 plus 50, 90 by 2, 45. So this is done. Now let me write down the frequency which is mentioned in the question itself. Frequency Fi or number of students. This is the number of students. How many times my data, how many times the data, the marks, the data is marks, how many times this much marks comes, 0 to 10 marks, how many times does it occur in my data set? That is the number of students, right, which is frequency. 12, 23, 24, 12, 23, 24, sorry, 34, 25, 6, 34, 25, 6, 34, 25, 6. Now these are very big numbers. If I go with the direct method, I have to multiply this class mark column with the frequency column. It will take a lot of time. 5 into 12 is 60. 15 into 23, it will take a lot of time. Yes. So no need to use big numbers, right? 25, 34, even more time. Why to spend more time? Then I have to add and then I have to divide. No need to spend much time. Use a better method. Find out the deviation. What is the deviation? Deviation is Xi minus A, assumed mean. So to find out the deviation, we need to find out assumed mean. So assumed mean is one of the class marks from here itself. Let me take the middle one, 25. Let me take 25 and make it the assumed mean. When 25 becomes the assumed mean, 5 minus 25 will give me minus 20. Be very considerate about the signs. Do not do 25 minus 5 करके बाद में वही आ गया, फिर आप पछताओगे. 5 minus 25 you do. 5 minus 25 minus 20. 15 minus 25 minus 10. 25 minus 25 0 हो गया. 0. 35 minus 25 10. You see, just minus 10 minus 20 came, right? 10 and 20 will come. 45 minus 25 20. Clear? About this, it will be equally spread. 0 minus 10 minus 20 10 20. Now this is again big. Minus 20 into 12, too much time, sir. Divide this by h. What is h? H here is the class size. H will come out to be the higher limit minus the lower limit, or upper limit minus lower limit of any class you take. You will get the class size, which comes out to be 10. Clear? class size is 10. So let me divide by 10. All these numbers divide by 10. All the numbers can be divisible by 10, right? If the number is such that it cannot be divisible by 10, I will not divide. But here 20 is divisible, 10 is divisible, this 10 is divisible, this 20 is also divisible. Let us divide each and every. This is known as step deviation. Ui is equal to xi minus a by h. Let's divide each and everything. Minus 20 by 10, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. Very small number. Now 1, 2, easy to multiply. 1 table, 2 table. Multiply fi ui. Fi multiplied by ui. Clear? So minus 2 into 12, minus 24. Minus 1 into 23, minus 23. 0 into 34, 0. 25 into 1, 25. 2 into 6, 12. Now I need to add the two columns. This column to find out summation of fi, this no need to add. Already in the question it is mentioned 100 students. Even if you add this, right, you will get 100 only. 12 plus 23 plus 34 plus 25 plus 6, it will come out to be 100. Clear? Let's get to here. This will come out to be 100. No need to add. Already it is given. Why will you add and again consume your calculation time? Do not spend time in all of these things which is already given to us in the question. Summation of fiui. This will give me summation of fiui. So here if you see minus 25 minus 23 minus 47. Top one will become minus 47. Let me use a different color so that it is easy for you to see. This will become minus 47. So this has to be subtracted. 0, no role. 0 add or subtract, it's same. 25 plus 12. What is 25 plus 12? 25 plus 12 is 37. 5 plus 2, 7. 2 plus 1, 3. 4 plus 3, 7. Minus 2, 47. Minus 47. Minus 47 plus 37. What will be the answer? Minus 47 plus 37. Minus 10. Not 10. Minus 10, beta. Do not get confused. Minus 10 is correct. Whatever you get here, that's correct. Let's now apply the formula for finding out the mean using the step deviation method. This is something which is very, very important. After this much effort, if formula only you do not remember, then all this effort will go in vain. So let's write down the formula. The formula is x mean is equal to assumed mean plus h class size multiplied by summation of fiui divided by summation of fi. Very easy. Assumed mean is 25 plus 10 multiplied by minus 10 divided by 100. Minus 10 divided by 100. Clear? 10 into 10. 100, 100 by 100, 1 with the minus sign, 25 minus 1, this 0, 0 will get cancelled, 0, 0, 0 will get cancelled, 25 minus 1, what is the mean? 25 minus 1, what is the mean? 24 is the mean, that's it. The mean is 24. Clear? If I had solved using direct method, how big numbers I would have got and how long my calculation would be. But here the steps are more, but the calculations are easy. That is the important thing which you need to understand for your boards. And if these numbers are coming out too big, subtract, take assumed mean, subtract it. If this is also big, divide it by h and use the formula. Use the formula. Clear? Let's move ahead. The mean is 24 here. Using the step deviation, any method you use, the same mean you will get. Data is same. Now, next 4 marks question. For this, I would like to call Satish Sir. Satish Sir, you have already met. He has taken a lot of YouTube sessions for you and you are already liking him. His videos are getting too many views as well. Satish Sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, good evening, students. I hope you are liking the lecture of Srikesh Sir as well as Ahmed Sir. Now, I would like to continue with the 4 marks questions, right? As the 2 mark questions and 3 mark questions comprises a good number of part in the whole exam, but 4 marks questions are the denser one, right? If you solve one good problem of 4 marks problem, then you are getting a huge chunk of marks, right? So I would be covering 4 marks and 5 marks. So let's see how it goes on. Okay, yeah. So here comes the first question. Okay, just let's read the question. Gadisar Lake is located in the Jaisalmer district of Rajasthan. It was built by the king Jaisalmer and rebuilt by Gadsi king in 14th century. The lake has many chhatris. One of them is shown below. Observe the picture from a point AH meters above from the water level. Okay, let's underline few things here. Let's try to underline this. The AH meters above the water level, the angle of elevation of top of the chhatri from point B is 45 degrees. The angle of depression of its reflection, okay, let's understand this reflection of water is 60 degree. If the height of the chhatri above the water level is 10 meter, then we should draw the diagram. Okay, let's first understand and break this whole statements into parts, and let's understand part to part. Okay, and let's try to first draw a diagram. Okay, so I would like to first draw the free body diagram or the rough sketch. Okay, precisely what exactly is this question mentioning. Okay, if you see from a point A, h meters above. Okay, now if you see here, it might not be clearly visible, but I would like to make it much more visible. So there is a point here. I hope you are able to see this red spot. There is a point A, here there is a point B, and here there is another point C. So can you see that there are three different points, right? So that there are three different points A, B, and C. Okay, now you see, observe the picture from AH meters. So there is an observer. Okay, so first of all, I would like to draw a picture. Okay, I would like to draw a picture. So first of all, there is a water. Okay, here is a water, and there is one person who is sitting at this point A. Okay, so there is some point A. Okay, let's draw this point A, and there is the chhatri, and it's at the top, right? So here is a chhatri, and now the reflection, exactly the reflection of the top or the pinnacle of the chhatri, now it will be exactly the same length. Okay, suppose this from the sea level, so this is the water level. Okay, this is the water level, and here is some person who is at point A, who is at some height h. Okay, let's see that what height he is. So there is some pinnacle of the tomb. Okay, so that chhatri, and there is a reflection of it, which would be exactly the whatever is the height from the water level, that would be the depth of the reflection. Okay, so this is point B and this is point C. Okay, this is point C. Now let's reread the question once again. So we have seen that there are 3 points. Okay, A, which is h meters above. So there is a point A which is h meters above the sea level. So let's mark this point. So this point is at a height h from the water level, right? Now let's see what the question is saying. The angle of elevation of the top of the chhatri, that is point B, is 45 degree. That means if there is a fellow that is just sitting over here who is at a height h meter, and from here if he is trying to see the tomb or the pinnacle of the chhatri, that is at point B. So this is the point B, the angle of elevation. Now what is meant by an angle of elevation? If I am trying to look some object at which is taller than me, this angle of upliftment is called the angle of elevation. Can you all see how am I tilting my head? So this is called the angle of elevation, right? So this angle is the angle of elevation, right? Are you all understanding? Now again let's read the question. Okay, and the angle of depression depression of its reflection in the water is 60 degree. Here one thing you should all understand. Okay, if there is an object which is at a certain height from the sea level, okay, or from the water level, the reflection would be exactly at the same depth. Okay, suppose from the water level, the perpendicular distance to the point B is, suppose I'm just saying, suppose it is some x meters, the reflection from this point would also be x meters. I hope you are understanding. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say. Okay, okay, now he is saying the angle of depression from point A. So the angle of depression from point A to point C. Now when I say angle of elevation, that means how you are lifting up your head. This is called the angle of elevation, right? Now what is meant by angle of depression? Suppose you are at you're standing here, and if you are bending and seeing some object which is smaller than you or shorter than you, what is the angle at which you have bent your head? Okay, what is the angle at which you are bending your head is called the angle of depression. Can you all see the what is the angle at which he is bending towards C? So this angle that has been formed is called the angle of depression. Now let's see what is the angle of depression here. Okay, what is the angle of depression he has given? It is 60 degree. Okay, it is at 60 degree. Okay, if the height of the Chhatri above the water level is approximately 10 meters. So let's write down first, this is 60. Okay, and he is saying this height, okay, from the water level is how much? It is 10 meter. Okay, it is at 10 meter. Now what is he asking in the question? What is he asking in the question? In the question he is asking, first draw the well labeled figure based on the above information. So we have clearly drawn the well labeled figure. Next he is asking, find the height h of the point A above the water level. Okay, you need to find the point A above the water level. So he is asking, see what is the height h from the water level. Okay. Find the height h of a point A above the water level. Okay. Chhatri is above water level is 10 meters. Okay. So here there is one information, right? So if you observe here, this point, this is exactly at 10 meters, and this is h. Okay, so that is what the information is. Okay, now he's asking we should find this height h. Okay, we need to find this height h. Okay, suppose if this is 10 meters, if this is totally 10 meters, so what would be the reflection totally? This will also be 10 meters, right? The tomb is at 10 meters from the sea level, so this will also be 10 meters at the depth, right? Now how will we find this height h? So we should use a little bit of trigonometry here. Now if you see here, can I use first of all, let's keep this point to be some d. Okay, now if you see tan 45 in triangle ADB, so can you see that tan 45 is equals to, okay, I'm just keeping it as, what is tan 45? It is opposite by adjacent. So what is the opposite side? That is BD. What is the adjacent side? That is DA. Okay, BD by DA. So tan 45 value is how much? What in the, as you have already learned with the tabular column of all the trigonometric angles, tan 45 value is 1. So 1 is equals to, what is the value of BD? Do we know the value of BD? This total height is 10. Okay, this total height is 10. But what will be this height BD? This height BD will be equal to 10 minus h. Are you getting? This will be 10 minus h. Okay, so the BD length will be equals to 10 minus h. Okay, and do we know the value of DA? No, we don't know. So let's write just DA. So from this I can just write the value of DA is also equals to 10 minus h. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Right, I just use the basic trigonometric angles, and using that relation I have found that tan 45 is equals to BD by DA, and tan 45 value is 1, and then I have just substituted the values. There is nothing else. So first you need to clearly draw the figure, and then you need to make it into the mathematical equations. Whatever the necessary tools are there, we will be capitalizing that, right? Next if you see, there is another triangle we need to consider here. We need to consider another triangle. What is the another triangle here? Here the another triangle is this AD and C. Okay, this is the another triangle, right? In this triangle, so I'm just writing the other information here. In triangle ADC, in this triangle, what can I say? I want to find this h, so the h has to be incorporated, right? So how can I find the relation? So that is, so if you see, what is tan 60? What is tan 60? That is opposite by adjacent. What is the opposite of this 60 degree? What is the opposite side of this 60 degree? That is DC. Okay, that is DC by, and what is the base? Base is AD. The base is AD or DA, whatever it is called. Okay, but what is the value of tan 60? What is the value of tan 60? The tan 60 value is root 3. Okay, what is the value of DC? See, till here the length is how much? 10, and from here the length is h. Okay, so the total length will be 10 plus h. Okay, so 10 plus h by AD. Now AD value is how much? 10 minus h. Right, AD value is 10 minus h. Now try to just rearrange the terms. Now what will happen? 10 plus h is equals to root 3 times of 10 minus h. Okay, now 10 plus h is equals to, what is root 3 into 10? That will be 10 root 3. Okay, we'll just write it as 10 root 3 minus 10 h. Now we'll bring all the values to one side, and then we would like to write down. So let's remember this equation, 10 plus h. Okay, we'll write one more step over here. 10, if you bring the h towards the left hand side, h plus 10h is equals to 10 root 3 minus 10, right? 10 root 3 minus 10. Now I can write 1h plus 10h, that will be equals to 11h. That will be equals to 11h. Right, and then we have 10 root 3 minus root 3, right? That is what we got, 10 root 3 minus root 3. What is 10 root 3 minus root 3? So can I take root 3 common? If I take root 3 common, that will be 10 minus 1. Okay, that will be 10 minus 1. Okay, so that will be 9. Okay, so root 3 into 9, so this will be 11h. So h will be root 3 by 9 root 3 by 11, right? You can leave the answer till here, or you can convert into the decimal, right? Now let's go to the next one. Okay, now here comes the 5-mark question. Now we will solve the 5-mark question. Okay, now let's see here. An arc of a circle of radius 21 centimeter subtend an angle of 60 degree. Okay, at the center, find the length of the arc. Okay, and the next one is the area of the minor segment of the circle. Okay, let's first draw the figure. It is very simple. If you understand completely, we can solve the two questions by simply we can directly draw the figure. Okay, now so see here, an arc of a circle of radius 21 centimeter. Okay, so what is the radius of the circle? The radius of the circle is 21 centimeter. Okay, subtends an angle of how much? It subtends an angle of 60 degree. Can you all see? There is a 60 degree. Now at the center, find the length of the arc. There is only two formulas in the entire section of the circles and the area in the entire section of area related to circles. That is theta by 360 into 2 pi r, that is the length of the arc, and theta by 360 into pi r square, that will be the length of the sector, right? So we will like to first, he is asking the length of the arc, right? The length of the arc. So what is the length of the arc formula? Length of the arc is equals to theta by 360 into 2 pi r, right? Theta by 360 into 2 pi r, right? What is theta? What is the value of theta? That is 60 by 360 into 2 pi r. 2 into pi into r. What is the value of r we have? That is 21. Remember one thing, don't be in a rush to initially substitute the value of r, right? Don't substitute the value of pi. Okay, if you substitute the value of pi, let it be in fractions or in decimal, you are making the entire calculation much more chaotic, right? So let's try to be as simple as possible. So 1 by 6 into 2 into 22 by 7 into 21, right? Now you can cancel. 7 3s are 21. Now 2 3s are 6. 3 1s are and 3 1s are. So the answer is just 22. what you should be very careful about the units. Are the units centimeter or meter or whatever it is? You just need to write that. Here the radius is given in centimeter, so the length of the arc is how much? 22 centimeter, right? Now he is asking the area of the minor segment. Now what is meant by saying area of the minor segment? Okay, so this total is a sector. When he is talking about the segment, this is the area of the minor segment. Are you all getting what I am trying to say? So this is the area of the minor segment. This thing, whatever you are seeing, that the area that has been exactly incorporated between the chord as well as the arc is called the segment area. Now finding out this segment area, it seems to be little more it seems to be much more hectic, right? It involves some sort of a dissections into it, right? So there are some steps we need to follow in order to reach the answer of the area of the segment. Okay, so I would like to explain you very quickly without further late. Okay, now let's see this. So there are two parts in order to find the area of the segment. Okay, first, so ultimately the goal is to find this area. Okay, the goal is to find this area, but we would like to understand this problem much more carefully. How do we find the area of this? Let's break this problem into two tasks. Okay, that is finding the area of triangle, finding the area of the sector. That is the first task. Once you find the area of triangle and the area of sector, the second task is to just subtract. Isn't it so simple? The first task is what? So I am just saying, you all know how to find the area of the sector. Okay, you all know how to find the area of the sector. Now let me just draw what is meant by saying that area of sector is. So this is the area of the sector. Can you all see the red part? The red shaded part is called the area of the sector. So I am just finding the area of sector. What is the area of sector? What is the formula of area of sector? OA, let's keep another point, that is C. Okay, I'm just keeping this OACD. I'm just naming it as OACD. Now we need to find the area of sector. As I said, this involves only two formulas. The first formula is theta by 360 into pi r square and theta by 360 into 2 pi r. You should always remember 2 pi r is circumference, pi r square is area. The similar thing, whenever we have to find the area of the sector, then we have a simple formula, theta by 360 into pi r square, right? So what is the theta over here? He has mentioned it already. This is how much? This is 60 degree, right? This is the 60 degree. So can we find the area of the sector? So that is 60 by 360 into pi r square, right? So that will be, see what is 60? This will be 1 by 6. So 1 by 6 into 22. 1 by 6 into 22 by 7 into r square. R square is how much? R is, here it is 21. Okay, so 21 square. Okay, so this you need to calculate. So 7 3s are, and again this again gets cancelled. 3 2s are 6, 2 11s are 21. So this will be, the answer will be 21 into 11. So what will be 21 into 11? That will be 231, right? That will be 231, right? So this will be 231 centimeters square. Okay, so this is the area of the sector. Now next we need to find the area of triangle, right? Now please hear very carefully. I am finding out, the first task is done. We have found the entire this thing. The next one is, I need to find the area of triangle. That is, I need to find this area. Okay, I need to find, I'm just shading it out like this. So I need to find this area. Okay, I need to find this area. How can I find the area of triangle OAB? Basically, what type of triangle it is? Let's try to just draw the triangle. What is the type of triangle do we have? Can anyone say, can anyone comment what is the type of triangle that we see here? This is an isosceles triangle, right? This is an isosceles triangle. In an isosceles triangle, the two sides are equal because here it forms a radii. So these two sides are equal. Now whenever you try to draw a perpendicular or an altitude, now this angle that will be even the perpendicular bisector. Remember, the altitude of a isosceles triangle will always be a perpendicular bisector as well. So this will be, so if you try to see here, so if this total angle is 60, this angle will be how much? 30 degree. This angle will be 30 degree. Okay, now we know this is 21. Okay, now let's try to use a little bit of trigonometry, right? So what will be cos 30? So let's take this as height h. Okay, cos 30 is equals to what? Adjacent by hypotenuse. So h is equals to 21 cos 30. What is the value of cos 30? Cos 30 value is root 3 by 2. Okay, h value is 21, h by 21, h is nothing but 21 cos 30, cos 30 value is root 3 by 2. Now what is the area of triangle? Area of triangle is equals to, area of triangle is equals to, area of triangle is equals to half base into height. What is half? What is the base do we have? What is the base? Do we know what is the base? And do we know what is the height? Even we need to find the base of the base of this is also equals to, so this is equals to, we can use again the same trigonometry again. So sine 30 is equals to half. So sine 30 is equals to, let's say this is some x, so x by 21, right? So from this we can say that x is equals to 21 sine 30, right? 21 sine 30. Okay, so half base into height. So from this you can get, what is sine 30? We have sine 30 is 1 by 2. Okay, so we have x value is equals to 21 by 2. So what is half base? How much we have base? 21 by 2. And what is the height h we have? 21 root 3 by 2, right? So now this is the total value that we have, that is 441 by 8 into root 3. So this is the total value we got, that is the area of the triangle. Now in order to find the sector area, we just need to subtract the area of the whole sector, that is 231 minus the area of the triangle. So this is the area of the triangle. So that will be, so area of segment is equals to, 231 minus 441 by 8 root 3. So you need to calculate this and find out the answer. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Okay, please see the next question. The perimeter of a certain sector of a circle of radius 5.6 meter is 20 meter. Okay, find the area of sector. Now this seems to be very simple question. It seems like only 2 lines are there. It seems to be very simple that it could be solved, but you need to be conscious enough with the calculation. Okay, so the question is very simple. The perimeter of certain sector of a circle of radius 5.6. So we don't know what is the angle subtended at the center, but he is saying the perimeter of certain, that means he has given the length of the arc. The length of the arc is how much? The length of the arc is 20 meter. So if he is saying this is theta, so then theta by 360 into 2 pi r. So this is the length of the arc. Length of the arc is equals to theta by 360 into 2 pi r. What is the value of theta? Theta is nothing but we don't know. So which is equals to, this value is equals to 20, right? Now please see here. So theta by 360, so this is equals to 20, I'm just shifting everything, 20 into 360 by 2 pi r. R is how much? 5.6. Okay, R is how much? 5.6. So the theta value is how much we have? The theta value is how much? 20 into 360 by 2 into pi into 5.6. Don't do any calculations here, just preserve this value of theta. Now please see here, he wants the area of sector. Ultimate goal of our problem is to find the area of sector. What is the area of sector formula? What is the area of sector formula? If the value of theta, if we know the value of theta, suppose, so that will be equals to theta by 360 into pi r square, right? Theta by 360 into pi r square. But what is the value of theta we have from this? This is equals to 20 into 360 by be very careful of what I am writing, into 2 into pi into 5.6, 2 into pi into 5.6, into, you need to be very careful here, you should not miss out this 360, this is 360, okay, into, you need to be very careful here, into pi r square. So the pi into 5.6 square, okay, 5.6 square. So now be very conscious of the calculation here. This 360 will not be jumping into the numerator. See, this is the fraction, this is the numerator part, this is the denominator, right? Now this denominator will be completely going to the denominator only. This denominator will be multiplied in the denominator of the upper numerator, okay? So that will be 20 into 360 by 2 into pi into 5.6 into 360 into pi into 5.6 whole square, okay. So can I cancel anything? 360, 360, you can cancel pi, you can cancel 1.4, 1 5.6, 1 5.6, and here you can also cancel 2 tens are. So the answer is 10 into 5.6 is 56. So we have completed this answer. So the 10 into 5.6 is how much? 56. So isn't it very simple, right? First you need to find the relation, whatever the information that he has, use that information, take this as a hypothesis, and then try to completely use that information, convert into whatever the agenda of the problem is. So let's process in that direction. Always write the given data and try to see what is the destiny of the problem, and let's create a roadmap. Every problem has this sort of a ideology, okay. Now let's see the last question of our session, okay. So this is related to the surface area volume, and very easy question. If you just remember the formulas in surface area volume and understand the basic concept of what is a surface area, what is a volume, what is a total surface area, everything will be very easy, okay. Now let's see. A wooden article is made by scooping out a hemisphere from each end of the solid cylinder. As shown in the figure, if the height of the cylinder is 21, he has clearly mentioned in the figure, the height is how much? 21, and the base radius is 3.5, find the total surface area. Be very careful, whenever he is saying total surface area, that means you are incorporating all the walls as well as the top and the bottom surface, right? You are including all the 4 walls as well as the top roof and the bottom surface, right? So what is the surface area of the cylinder? What is the surface area? Remember, whenever he is saying about the surface area, it is like just assume how do you paint the walls, right? How do you paint? So whenever you are thinking about the surface area, volume means if you are trying to pour some water, how much it is able to contain, that is called the volume. So don't get confused between volume and surface area. So when you have to paint this complete object, how do you paint the outer part as well as the inside the shallow hollow part, right? So what would be the curved surface area of the cylinder? So here there are 2 things we need to involve. Total surface area of object, okay. Let's try to break it into 2 parts. First of all, this object comprises of a cylinder, so you should be considering the curved surface area of cylinder. So I need to clearly mention here CSA of cylinder, that is the first part, right? The next part is I need to mention the curved surface area of the hemisphere, right? But how many hemispheres do we have? We have 2 hemispheres, right? The top hemisphere as well as the bottom hemisphere, right? Now what is the area of the top hemisphere? What is the surface area of the top hemisphere? So I'll just write curved surface area of 2 hemispheres, okay, 2 hemisphere. So what is the curved surface area of cylinder? We have the curved surface area of cylinder is 2 pi r h. What is the curved surface area of hemisphere? What is the curved surface area? The curved surface area of hemisphere is 2 pi r square. But how many hemispheres we have? 2 hemispheres. So can I write it as 2 times of 2 pi r square? So this will be 2 pi r h plus 2 into 2 pi r square, that will be 4 pi r square. Okay, so first you need to break the problem, understand what is he asking in the question, and then accordingly try to just impose the formula. You will be getting the answer, right? Now, what is a common thing that you can take among these two? 2 pi r h plus 4 pi r square. What's the common thing that you can take? 2 pi r. So if you take 2 pi r common, so what is the left out thing? That is h, and what is the left out thing? That is h plus r, right? We have 2 pi r times h plus r, right? We have directly a formula 2 pi r times h plus r. So now I am just writing here, we have, as we have derived the formula 2 pi r times h plus r. Now let's try to write what is the h and what is the r. So the height is 10 centimeter and the radius is 3.5. So the height, the radius is 3.5 and the height is 10 plus 3.5, right? So now we have 2 into pi into 3.5 and into 13.5, right? Now we can convert this into 2 into 22 by 7 into 3.5 into 13.5. Can we cancel out something here? 7, this can be cancelled out by 0.5 times. So this will be 2 into 22, that will be 44 into 5 by 10 into 135 by 10, right? Now you can cancel out 5 2s are 10, this will be 5 2s are 10 and 27, and this will be 2 and 2 11s are 22, sorry 2 22s are, and again you can cancel out this as 11. So we have 27 into 11. So what is 27 into 11? Just calculate this. 27 into 11, 27 into 27, that will be 7, 7 plus 2, 9 and 297. So whenever you have to do a 2-digit multiplication with 11, okay, whenever you have to do a 2-digit multiplication with 11, I'll say you a small trick, that is 27 into 11, just add, just do one thing, keep 2 here, 7 here. What is 2 plus 7? What is 2 plus 7? That is 9, right? This is how you simply get a trick, okay? That is 27 into 11 is 297. You can multiply any 2-digit number with 11, we get this answer. So we have 297 and the units are here. Clearly it is centimeter. Be very careful with the centimeter. So we have 297 centimeter square. Be very conscious about this units, okay? So here is the end of our lecture, right? I hope please you have enjoyed this session thoroughly, and I welcome again Ahmed Sir and as well as Srikesh Sir to finally acknowledge and conclude the session. Yeah.
I hope you all enjoyed this amazing session by Satish Sir, Ahmed Sir and me, and we believe that this small contribution from our side acts as a very big contribution for you all, for the support, and it gives you very much strength and all the support which you require and all the content which we have provided over here, and I hope all of this is very useful for you for your board exams. All the best everyone, that is what I would like to say. And we are here tomorrow again, we'll be again taking a session in the morning. I think Ahmed Sir will be taking in the evening, I'll be taking. The timings are updated in the YouTube channel as well. And not only that, in morning 10th of March again we are back with a motivation session in which me, Satish Sir, Ahmed Sir and Rishabh Sir will also be there, and will be providing you some hacks for last minute tips for your exam. So do join that session from the morning 5 a.m. I think that session is that it will be updated in the YouTube channel.
All right, wishing you all the best, all the students. Keep practicing, keep learning. Bye bye, take care.